Chapter 16. On Sunday, my mother got up early and started fussing about me and Anna not going to Kingdom Hall enough. Anna put the pillow over her head and cursed. I sat up in bed and stared outside. Christmas lights flashed from people's windows. We will not be celebrating Christmas this year or any holiday in our mother's house ever again. On Thanksgiving, Mama made lasagna and thanked her Jehovah for giving us another day. We ate the lasagna quietly, listening to Mama preach about how worldly holidays were wrong. I don't know how celebrating the fact that Pilgrims and Native Americans stopped fighting long enough to sit down and eat a meal together is a sin in God's eyes, Anna said. I had never been a big turkey fan, but I missed Thanksgiving, missed all the people who stopped by to eat dinner or dessert with us and wish us a happy holiday. I missed us putting up lights 2 days after Thanksgiving and me and Anna fighting over how we'd hang them. Now I stared out the window, wondering if those houses with lights had trees up already or if there were presents under them. The Christmas before last, I'd gotten so much stuff, I thought. I'd never stop unwrapping. Most of it was still in Denver somewhere. Stuffed animals, games, clothes gone. Even the ring Daddy had given me with Taswia engraved into the gold. I bit my lip, feeling the tears coming on. Don't think about the past, Anna said. Just the far, far future. The sky was overcast. We'd been here over a year, and I still don't know if that meant rain or snow. The windows rattled, which was a sure sign that it was freezing outside. I climbed out of bed and slowly stuck my feet into the ugly pink bedroom shoes Mama had gotten us. Get up, Anna. You hear Mama fussing. You know this means we gotta go to Kingdom Hall today. Anna groaned and rolled over toward the wall. Her side of the room was neater than mine. There were pink frilly things in her dresser and posters of musicians on her side of the wall. I didn't listen to much music anymore. You stay in bed too long, you know she'll pick out your outfit. Anna rolled back over and opened her eyes. I hate this life, she said. Hate it. Far, far future, I said. Anna glared at me. Every now and then, Mama started making noise about how we'd all be destroyed in Armageddon if we didn't straighten up and fly right. The first time she said it, Anna said, it'd be better than what I have now. And Mama fussed at her for so long. I'm sure Anna was sorry she'd ever opened her mouth to say anything. Ever since then, Mama only once in a while made us go to Kingdom Hall. But when she did, there was no arguing with her about it. I went over to the closet and pulled out a green wool jumper. Women weren't allowed to wear pants at Kingdom Hall because the elder said it was being disrespectful to God, which made no sense to me. I mean, Eve was hopping around the Garden of Eden naked, and God didn't seem to be mad about that. I didn't believe a whole lot that the religion said, but sometimes they hit on something that made me go, oh. Like once, this guy was giving a sermon about the 10 Commandments. I never really paid attention to them before, but when he was reciting them, they made sense. I mean, basically, they're just saying be nice to people if you want people to be nice to you. It made me wish I hadn't pointed to Carla's lice-filled head all those years ago, giving her a first-class ticket to Cootie Land. Jehovah's Witnesses believe you go back to the dust after you die, that it's like you never were. They believe a few people go to heaven and some go to the new world that God's going to create after he gets tired of how messed up this one is. No hell, though. Heaven, new world, or dust. Those are your options. Taswia and Cameron, dust. Evie and Anna, new world. Daddy, already living in another religion's hell. Mama, heaven. Who knows? Mama says in the new world, there won't be any more hatred or disease or floods. She says the animals will all be friendly. You'll be able to pet snakes and hug lions, she says, her eyes getting bright. I pulled the dark green turtleneck off the hanger, got some underwear out of the drawers that Anna and I had shared. She had the 2 top ones and I had the 2 bottom, then headed off to the bathroom, mumbling good morning to Mama and Daddy as I went past. Our bathroom here is tinier than the downstairs half bathroom we had back in Denver, and 3 times as small as the upstairs bathrooms. I never thought of us as rich when we lived there, but now I know we had it good. I closed the door, pressed my head against the cool mirror glass and sighed. When I came out, Daddy was sitting at the window eating a bowl of oatmeal. He looked over at me and smiled. Your sister up? Mama asked. She was pouring pancake mix from a box into a white plastic bowl. In Denver, all her mixing bowls had been the good kind, made out of glass. Here, Everything except Daddy's oatmeal bowl seemed plastic and cheap and temporary. I nodded and took another step before stopping. Mama, I said, turning slowly toward her, it's all wrong, isn't it? Daddy put his oatmeal bowl down in his lap and stared out the window. I swallowed. This wasn't how it was supposed to end. Mama poured the water into the batter and stirred. What's guaranteed, Evie? I shrugged. Nothing's guaranteed, honey. Nothing. If someone tells you something is, don't believe it. But I thought, did you thank Jehovah for allowing you to wake up this morning? Mama asked. Anna sat down across from me at the kitchen dining room den table and made a face. She was wearing a wool skirt that stopped at her ankles and a light blue sweater that looked about 2 sizes too small. Where I'd gotten taller over the year, Anna had just gotten bigger. Not fat, but every part of her body seemed to be blooming into womanhood, as Mama liked to say. Mama sat down next to me and put a plate of bacon in the middle of the table. I looked at her sideways. Every day I hoped that she would say, psych, your mind. I was just kidding about the God stuff, but it never happened. If anything, she got holier. Well, did you? Either of you? I did, I lied. Yeah, Anna said, me too, like I do every day. Mama raised an eyebrow at her but didn't say anything. Anna took a bite of bacon. Are you going to say the blessing? Mama asked. Anna bowed her head. Thank you, Jehovah, for this food and all other blessings. Amen. I laughed, then covered my mouth with my hand. Mama took a sip of her coffee. I don't think it's asking a whole lot to be thankful for what we have, she said quietly, looking from me to Anna. Sometimes I think if we'd been more thankful, more aware of what we had in Denver, things wouldn't have ended the way they did. Anna and I looked at each other but didn't say anything. My mother hardly ever mentioned Denver. When she did, we knew we'd taken something too far. I think the road back is a narrow one, she said. A part of me believes that if we do everything right, we can have it again. But we can't ever go back there. Not Denver, Mama said. She looked over at my father sitting by the window and lowered her voice. The happiness is not always going to be like this. It all seemed too vague. I wanted definite. Either we got back to Denver or we didn't. Either we were happy or we weren't. Jehovah's Witnesses believe that their religion is the true one and that they're the chosen people. Well, that's what I wanted, the truth. Who were we really? And why? Why had this had to happen to us? Why couldn't someone else's daddy have witnessed the murder? What about babies? I asked, wanting to change the subject. With this Armageddon thing, the end of things that you always talk about, will babies get destroyed too? Because they can't walk, so they can't go out in the field service and pray and stuff. Mama frowned at me, checking my face to see if I was messing with her. I wasn't. We could start at the beginning, the basics. Who was this God of hers anyway? Why would he want to destroy babies and families? Jehovah can see into people's hearts, Mama said. He knows who's who and who's going to be who. How come he didn't give Hitler a disease or something, Anna asked, to keep him from killing all those Jews? Or what about the people who killed Martin Luther King Jr. and the Kennedys and Malcolm X? What about those guys? Or what about us? I yelled. What about us? What did we do to deserve this? Mama shook her head. The Lord works in mysterious ways. He has plans, and it's not for us to understand. There's a reason why we're here. We just don't know it yet. She bit her bottom lip, her eyes glazing over. After a moment, she blinked and looked from me to Anna. In that split second, I saw her again. The lady I used to know in Denver, my mother. You're strong, she says. You're both so strong. She bit her lip again. My strong, strong daughters. Her voice trailed off. I don't want to be strong, Anna says. I just want to be who I am, who I always was. Mama smiled. It was a small smile, but I saw it. I remembered it from a long time ago. No one can take that away, she said, her voice no more than a whisper. A moment passed before she added my sister's name, Cameron. Anna and I looked at her, our mouths open. How long had it been since I heard that name coming from her mouth? I blinked slowly. When I looked at Mama again, her eyes were far off and she was our new mother again, but Anna was smiling. Mama's Bible was sitting beside her plate. She picked it up again and began reading. Even though I walk in the valley of deep shadow, I fear nothing. I need new running sneakers, I said. Mama ignored me and kept reading. Surely goodness and loving kindness will pursue me all the days of my life. I think God will see it loving and kind of you to let me get a good day's sleep. So I should be able to get right back to bed now instead of, "You're coming today, Anna," Mama said. "You just got new sneakers, Evie." I bit the inside of my lip. It felt like the moment when she said Anna's old name had never happened. "They're too heavy." "Too heavy for what?" "They make my knees hurt," I said quickly. This wasn't a total lie. What I had were cross trainers, and even a non-professional like me knew real runners had real running shoes, not cross trainers. Cross trainers would definitely mess up your knees if you ran too much in them. Anna frowned at me. A "yeah, right" frown. What are you up to now frown. "And plus," I added, "they feel too tight now." "We'll get you new sneakers then," my father said from the window. "I need new sneakers too," Anna said. "You can have mine. I hardly wore them." "Yuck." Anna took a tiny bit of bacon and glared at me. "I don't want your skanky sneakers." "I don't know what I'm going to do with you two," Mama said. "Just eat and hush." But there was a small, proud smile at the edge of her mouth. I watched our father staring up at the overcast sky as if some big answer was about to drop out of it into the empty bowl on his lap. He was disappearing, sitting at the living room window, but disappearing. Papers Mama had brought home were piling up beside his chair. She had opened them to the want ads. They lay there, right there where she had left them, untouched. Mama looked at her watch and told us to finish eating and get our coats. She got up from the table and went over to the bookshelf for our Bibles. Anna chewed her bacon slowly. She put her finger to her lips. "Hush," Anna said. "Just hush." I half smiled, not sure what she was trying to say, but her eyes were serious. Anna leaned across the table. "Make believe none of it ever happened," she said. "Hush. Make believe we never were here. Hush. Make believe we never were. You and me, little sis, back to the dust." Daddy looked over at us, lifting his bowl toward us like an offering. Anna sucked her teeth, got up, and took Daddy's bowl to the kitchen. Outside, I looked up at Daddy's window and waved. His hand lifted into the air absently. I bent my head down against the cold and walked a little bit behind Mama and Anna. Our Bibles are green with holy scriptures written on them in gold lettering. When I held it away from me and squinted, it became a mountain in Denver. Anna turned and saw me. "God, you're such a freak." I stared at her but didn't say anything. "Does it matter what I am?" I wanted to scream. "If I'm not anyone?" As Mama led us through the neighborhood, I watched people watching us and wondered who they saw. Curl your toes into the soft pine of your floorboards and do remember me.